Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about having Capricorn Mars in the natal chart, or Mars in Capricorn, depending on how you want to say it. Same thing. But anyway, thing about this is some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the Mars placements, and the videos may have been a little bit concise. Some people may have referred to them as snappy. But what I decided to do was make them a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, made it in this series, I make them a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up, Mars is connected with our energy and vitality. So, having Mars in Capricorn, well, the energy could be very disciplined, structured. You may be, able to pace yourself very well. Keep in mind, Mars is in its exaltation in Capricorn. It's in its best placement by sign. And a lot of the actions may be very well planned, premeditated, but also you take your actions, whatever you generally do, you act on very seriously, and don't you want them to make sure that the actions are productive and you're accomplishing something. You don't want to generally waste your time on frivolous things. And also that energy and vitality may go into Capricorn related things, and a lot of it may be, management, or it could be, doing something business related, um, things associated with your career. It could be building things, structure, could simply be doing, I die cast, those models, like the little model cars you put to snap together or glue together or what have you. Just things of that nature. Remember, Capricorn is connected with structure. And now the next thing up with Mars, Mars is also connected with our drive and motivation. So you may have a lot of drive and motivation for matters pertaining to your career, the career ambitions, being successful in life in general, attaining greater social status and stature in life, and just your accomplishments, your achievements in general. That's where you could have a lot of your drive and motivation for things that are Capricorn related in general, whether it's trying to working to become a dentist, or doing something with accounting or masonry, general mundane work, politics, something with information technology, government work, as some examples. Mars is also associated with combat, confrontation, and fighting in battles. So when your Mars is in Capricorn, you might be very disciplined in these matters, and you may show restraint often when it comes to things that are associated with fighting, and battles. Of course, you got to look for contraindicators and modifying influences in the natal chart. I mean, if you have say a Leo or Aries ascendant on top of this, you might not be quite as disciplined in matters, and that can include fighting, battles, confrontations, and the typical Mars and Capricorn placement. Now, you may be someone that shows responsibility in terms of if a confrontation is needed, if you need to talk with somebody about something that you don't feel is right. These are things that you take much responsibility for. Fights, maybe, argument. If you're going to feel like you're going to have a dispute with someone, it could be well planned. It could be very serious. A lot of premeditation could be involved. You may often get into could be acrimonious disputes, with authority figures, or like managers. Say you're at a job where you're in a subordinate role. There may be a number of quarrels with these people, and also too, it can be people that are just in business in general. Businessmen you might have it out with often, but also too, you may be someone that likes to strategize. If you're going to plan on doing something where somebody, or there's going to be some kind of battle or argument, you want to have often get your facts straight, and what you're going to say, to perhaps, if you're trying to win some argument or battle with somebody. Now, Mars is also associated with our enthusiasm, and when your Mars is in Capricorn, you may have a tremendous amount of enthusiasm for career-related matters. Simply responsibilities in general, you may be more upbeat about these things than the average person. Just laborious work in general, even general mundane work. And it can also be, doing things, attaining, recognition, social status, greater stature, and all. These are the things you may actually be very enthused about. Trying to attain a position of authority. It could also be, just things that are associated with Capricorn in general, whether it's business or dentistry, accounting, information technology. It could be construction, architecture, as some other examples. Now, Mars is also associated with sex. So when you have Mars and Capricorn in your natal chart, you may, if you're involved in, an intimate connection with somebody, you may want, the sex to be, could be very regimented, consistent, having it, certain time, certain days. It's really, this is not what you call, spontaneous position, for Mars. This is in sex, including that the sex you have may not be, overly spontaneous. It could often be, very planned out. And also, you may be someone that takes a lot of precautions in sexual matters, which is, of course, positive. That's very beneficial. It could also be where it could be often with older people, and you may show much responsibility in these matters, and you may be able to show more restraint and discipline in these matters than the average person. Now, Mars is also associated with sexual partners, so when you have this placement, one or more sexual partners may actually be a Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply embody the characteristics of the sign. It could be people that are very structured, disciplined, responsible, ambitious, consistent, industrious, diligent. It could also be authoritative as well, very serious, may even be cold, even undemonstrative. It could be people that are in a Capricorn profession, again, which can include accounting, dentistry, information technology. It could be people that work with watches or timekeepers. You know, um, it could be, those that are in architecture or construction, as some examples. Now, Mars is also connected with physical related injuries and surgery. So this placement can indicate it could be, um, there may be more greater propensity for injuries that are associated with the knees, the bones, the joints, hamstrings, gallbladder. Um, it could be skin, teeth. That's where you may have some susceptibility to injuries and surgery. A lot of surgery may be done where you're taking all the precautions that are necessary, and you may go about it very methodically and have it really something that is well planned out if the surgical procedure actually needs to be done. And the thing about this too is have displacement. I would think injuries may often come at the place of business when when you have displacement in your natal chart. It could be something connected with one's career. So but you may also be rather skeptical and pessimistic regarding, dealing with, the injuries or some kind of rehab or surgery that needs to take place. Mars is also connected with anger. So, having this placement, well, keep in mind that, Capricorn is the sign of limitations and restrictions. So a person may feel somewhat inhibited at times in expressing the anger, but on the positive side, it's very disciplined and, being able to hold back when necessary. And it could be where the person may delay to some degree unleashing any anger, and it may just do so after a long period of time. And it could be, where there may be acrimonious disputes with people at the place of their business. It could be with politicians, people that are in, government work, people that are just general, mundane, workers, like people that are in retail stores, outlets, as some examples. And Mars is also connected with our actions. So again, having Mars and Capricorn, the actions may be very disciplined, structured, consistent, and well planned out. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.